Recently I made a video on the opening shot of Steve McQueen's Shame, and discussed the significance of the opening shot as foreshadowing the narrative, revealing character, and a subtle character introduction. This video will explore and contrast the opening and closing scenes of The Place Beyond the Pines. Let's look at this brief example of Paul Thomas Anderson's Punch Drunk Love. If you compare the opening and closing images of Punch Drunk Love, you can clearly see the effects and results of Barry Egan's journey. Think of the closing image as a symbol of where he has reached emotionally in the narrative by the end of the film. He is closer to the audience, he is more centered, he is embraced by another person, which is huge because his major desire at the beginning of the film was seeking connection. He allows the world in through the door, which was previously closed at the beginning of the film. He is in harmony with the score as he plays on the harmonium, and a presence of the lens flare, which is the visual spark which connects Lena and Barry throughout the film together. The Place Beyond the Pine uses similar techniques but uses full sequences to really explain the destiny of each character. Derek Cianfrance uses many ways to connect Jason with his father throughout the film, but the contrasting ending tells us that Jason doesn't share Ryan Gosling's fate. Throughout the film, Jason shares these elements with his father. The bike, the passing of the sunglasses, similar to the gold watch in Pulp Fiction, passed down generations.
Yeah, you're calling him back.
They are both thieves and both free spirits who leave Eva Mendes' character. Jason and Luke are connected again by this moving shot, the framing and the use of music, making for a haunting yet warming moment for Jason as he discovers a new part of his father.
You must get lonely.
The reason I bring up the connection between the father and son is because it is all the more telling that they have contrasting conclusions based on the opening and closing shots. Both shots are long and follow one main character. We know for Luke his world will be turned upside down by the surprise of his son and his struggle to fit into his life, and is backed into a corner during the final robbery. This is why the opening shot represents Luke's journey as he ends in a cage, to symbolize how trapped he will be by the situation. Although we see Jason mirror many character traits of his father, the closing sequence tells us a different fate for him. He follows in his father's footsteps as he takes ownership of his first bike, but instead of a cage we see him heading into the distance towards the trees, followed by the title card, The Place Beyond the Pines. The title here is used as a narrative device. The Place Beyond the Pines is telling us where Jason's character reaches by the end of the film, making this a hopeful ending for Jason, who seemed to have been doomed at many points to fail. Also notable is how most of the film takes place in and around the town, but the major turning points for characters happen in the trees or beyond the pines. Luke meets Robin for the first time and is encouraged to steal. Bradley Cooper is led by Ray Liotta into the pines, perhaps to be killed, but instead decides to turn in the dirty policeman, making a major turning point for his character. Jason confronts his father's killer and discovers the only picture of his family together. And this final moment here with Jason, again supporting that this is a moment of change for our character, and despite the tragedy of the film, this seems hopeful and new rather than the cycle of intertwining families throughout the film. Now, Derek Cianfrance isn't the first director to use a title card at the end of the film as a narrative device. Christopher Nolan has famously done this at the end of all of his films. Allow me to share a snippet from my Inception analysis to further explain. Interpretation 2 requires some revisiting of Nolan's previous work. The title of most Nolan films becomes the literal representation of the end of the film. In Memento, Leonard has a clue written on a piece of paper, and at the end of the film decides to get it tattooed as a memento. In The Prestige, we are told in the beginning that a magic trick is made up of 3 parts: the pledge, the turn, and the prestige. At the end of the film, we are presented with Nolan bringing back something, which is the 3rd part of a magic trick, the prestige. In The Dark Knight, Jim Gordon gives a speech about the heroic nature of Batman, as if knighting him for his efforts, coupled with Batman on the Batpod racing away as if on a steed riding into the distance. In The Dark Knight Rises, Gotham's new protector rises up on the Batcave's platform, The Dark Knight Rises. In Inception, did the spinning top fall or go on? The idea of whether the film is real or a dream is implanted into the audience's mind. This is called inception. Nolan has performed inception on the audience, leaving them with doubt and sparking discussion about the film's meaning. So let me know what you think about this mini analysis for The Place Beyond the Pines. There were so many places I could have went with this film, but I chose the opening and the closing because it really bookends the film and it tells you a lot about the characters and the characters' journeys. I'm pretty sure I'll do a full-length commentary on this film at some point. Let me know what you think about the analysis and what you think about The Place Beyond the Pines as a full film. Feel free to join the Facebook and the Twitter, which will be below in the description. Thank you for listening.